Please be seated. Please be seated. We are moving to the next session now. And we thank God that the person God will be using for us for this next session is already here. We are so glad to have him. Thank God that by grace of ministry, we are able to bring him. If not for grace of ministry, I am sure we would have written letter to this protocol, to that protocol, to that protocol. But I was telling the ESCO, I said, if it is this name, forget protocol. The moment he hears Bodija at Dickinry, it's good to go. Good to go. Good to go. And I like youths to pay attention to everything he's going to say. And not only because of that, I always tell youths, Bodija Adekinri is blessed with a crop of ministers. Celebrate Bodija Adekinri. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You need to go around other Adekinri. The ministers in Bodija Adekinri, they are top notch, both in life, in society, in grace. Let's celebrate our ministers. Glory. So we are going to read the citation of our speaker for the next session, and after that, we'll bring him up. So let's follow the citation.
Commander Olayinka Kautim Joe Fadile is a distinguished public servant serving currently as the 14th State Commander of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, or your State Command. He is a man of faith, an ordinand in the Anglican Diocese of Lagos to be ordained in Advent, whose life seamlessly blends military discipline, intellectual pursuits, and deep spiritual devotion. His leadership style is marked by passion, precision, and a deep understanding of human capacity, which he uses to assign roles effectively and inspire excellence among his subordinates. With a life marked by unwavering service to both God and the country, he stands as a rare example of spiritual integrity, civic excellence, and visionary leadership, a man prepared by grace to influence the public square for God's glory. Please, with a standing ovation, please let's welcome the Oyo State Commander of the NDLEA. Thank you, sir.
It's nice to be with you. And mega nice to be with youth from Dickinry. Well, we'll be talking about drugs today. Before we start, I need a volunteer. Somebody to come forward and tell me what drug is. One. I need a volunteer. There is no wrong answer, so don't be afraid. Come and give me both. Come and give me both. Media, I hope you have my slides. Give us drugs, then give us drugs, then
Sir, drugs is any substance you take to heal an illness or something. And then drug abuse is the misuse of drug or the overdose of taking drug. Like when you take it wrongly, like you're not supposed to take and then you're taking it.
She made a good attempt. She has an idea, made a good attempt, but I'll just correct a few errors. Drug is any substance, she got that right, that when taken into the body, she says will heal the body. Not necessarily heal the body, we change the way the body works. It may change it to make it work correctly, and it may change it to make it work wrongly. Then drug abuse is when you take substances that your body does not need. Drug misuse is when you take the substances in a way that is wrong. Your body needs it, but let's say, for instance, you're having body ache and you swallow 6 tablets of paracetamol. You know your body needs paracetamol, but you use too much. That is misuse. Abuse is when you wake up in the morning and you're okay and you decide to just take paracetamol, tetracycline, and just pack plenty and chop because it will make you feel high. That is misuse. We can start up there. Okay. Drug is not a problem for Nigeria alone. Are you listening? Drug is not a problem for Nigeria alone. Drug is a problem all over the world. So for us to say we have a drug problem in Nigeria is not peculiar to us. Everywhere, even in the US, they have a drug problem. But how did drug problem start in Nigeria? Our soldiers went to fight a war long ago, in the 40s, and they came back home with hemp, marijuana, and planted it, and people started taking it. That is how drug came into Nigeria. From marijuana, they went on to other things. And eventually, we have a big problem at hand now. As of today, we have nothing less than 14.5 million Nigerians that are using drugs. How many of us are here? We are less than maybe 100,000. We are not up to. So imagine the multiples of this number to make 14.5 million Nigerians that are using drugs. And age 15 to 64, what age group is that? 15 to 64. Adults, we can call them youth. You and I and my Oga Reverend Kiesi, we are all youths. We are all youths. So between 15 and about 60 or 50 makes up 14% of that number. Almost a quarter are youths. 40% of youths, now youth proper, age 18 to 35, 40% are deeply into drug abuse. 40%. That is to say that if you bring 10 youths, out of 10 youths, how many is supposed to be taking drugs? 4. 40% means 4 out of 10, isn't it? So for every 10, 4 youths might be taking drugs in Nigeria. Is it not scary? So if you go to your school now, in your class of about 20, the statistics is saying roughly 8 are taking drugs if you're 20 in your class. So if you have 20 classmates and 8 are taking drugs, are you not afraid? Okay, let's look at other kinds of drugs. We have the one they call medicinal drugs. Skip the next 2 slides. Medicinal drugs. These are drugs like my daughter defined now. the ones that when you take, it heals your body. Those are medicinal drugs. Paracetamol, antibiotics, tetracycline, ampicillin, chloroquine. Those are medicinal drugs that the doctor will prescribe and it heals your body. Then we have the ones that are called recreational drugs. What is recreation? To relax. So they now have drugs that you relax with. But those ones are not meant for you. You relax without taking drugs. The ones they call recreational drugs include alcohol, cigarettes, Indian hemp, cannabis, cocaine, heroin. They say when they take it, it relaxes them. But I know that Bodija youths are not, they don't relax with recreational drugs. Am I right? Then we have illegal drugs, the ones that if they find with you, you'll be arrested. You have psychoactive drugs. These are drugs that will change your mood completely. Let's move to the stages of drug abuse and the effects of drug abuse. The next slide. Yes, here. Can you all see? Let me read this to you. This is what drug will do to you. The moment you take drugs, trillions of potent molecules. You know what molecules are? Trillions of potent molecules sort through your bloodstream. As soon as you take the drugs, the molecules start running around your body. Your blood goes all over your body. So your blood takes the drugs all over your body fast. And then, where does it end up? In the brain. Blood also goes to the brain. So it takes the drug molecules to your brain. Once it's in the brain, what does it do there? It starts a cascade of chemical and electrical events. The brains will start to spark. And then what happens? It gives you a kind of neurological chain reaction. It starts to ricochet. What is ricochet? To move around fast. So everything starts to move fast in your brain. You don't even understand what's happening anymore. And what does it do when it does that? Read this together. Who can tell me what that means? Rearrange the interior reality of the brain. That means the way God created your brain to reason like a human being, this thing gets into your body, goes around the whole of your body, ends up in the brain, knocks around the brain, and rearranges it against the way God created it. Is that a good thing? It's terrible. So by the time it rearranges it, your brain no longer functions the way God created it to function. Then they say the person is insane. The next slide tells us a list of the kind of drugs we have. Some of these ones you'll be surprised. You know that coffee is a drug? Even those energy drinks that some of you drink contains caffeine, that is coffee. So you are taking drugs. This is Indian hemp. Most of these ones are tablets. Tobacco, cigarettes is a drug. Alcohol is drugs. Most of these other ones are barbiturates, benzodiazepam. They are all different categories of drugs. These ones will make your body work fast. They are called stimulants. That's why if you take coffee, you won't sleep, because it makes the central nervous system work fast. These ones are depressants. If you take them, it slows down your central nervous system and makes you sluggish. That's why if somebody takes alcohol, he cannot walk straight, because the central nervous system is already slow. Then you have things like these other ones, hallucinogen. These are the ones that when you take them, you will decide that you are hearing colors and you are seeing sound. You can decide to go and climb the tallest building in this yard, maybe a belfry or something, and decide that the ground is looking like a swimming pool. You want to dive into it. You start to see things that are not there. That's hallucination. That's what that third category of drugs will do to you. Then the next stage tells us the stages. How do we get into drug abuse? So that you know if your friend is getting close. So quickly report to your teachers or report to somebody that is a guardian. The first stage is called experimentation. That is when you go for parties or you go for events in school or anywhere, and a few of your friends have these substances with them, and they are telling you, try it. They are sneaking it into your hand. Try it. They want you to experiment. That is the stage where you need to run away. Do you hear me? What did I say you need to do at that stage? If you don't run away at that stage, you may start to get trapped. Because if you collect and you take, you move to the next stage, which is regular use. When you now go to those parties or those events, you pick up the drugs and you use without being asked. From there, you move to risky use, where you are nonchalant. You just take it anyhow you like. And before you know what's going on, you become an addict. By the time you get to the fourth stage, you can no longer help yourself. Because you're already a sick person and you need help to get well again. We'll skip the next few slides, but as we move on, I'll just show you what is there. This is talking about what alcohol does to the body. This is alcohol. Move to the next one. Talking about cigarettes, tobacco. Tobacco is actually a leaf. When it gets dry, it becomes weed that you smoke. These are what tobacco will do to you. I won't dwell on this. It will only waste our time. If you can get the slides later, you can go through. The next slide. This is cannabis. Cannabis is also a green leaf. When it gets dried, it becomes dry brown leaf that can be smoked. Some use this to cook. They add it to your ewedu and your efo. When we were in school in those days, if you are not sure of your friends, you don't go to their room and take efo, because you might take it and sleep for the next one day. The next one. This is somebody wrapping Igbo. That is Indian hemp. The next one. This is heroin. It's more like sand. It's brownish, but it's a powder. Not like your talcum powder. Those powder you paint on your face. It's not that smooth. It's more like elubo, but it's brown. Next slide. These are amphetamines. They are tablets that are produced in a factory. Very, very dangerous. The next slide. Cocaine. Okay, amphetamine. These are amphetamine powder. This one comes like a crystal, like salt. You know, salts are crystals. It comes like salt. If you see it, it looks like salt. This one, if you take this for about 6 months, all your teeth will fall off. When you see yourself after 12 months of taking this, as a matter of fact, your parents will not even recognize you. You will see pictures of people that have taken these things, and you see what we are talking about. Next slide. This is cocaine. This one is more like your milk, the milk we take in the house. Something similar to milk. That's cocaine. The next one. Next one. Barbiturates, tablets produced in a lab, dangerous too. Next one. Consequences. When you take all those stuff, what do you do to the body? The consequences of drug abuse. We have psychological consequences. Psychological means having to do with the brain. When you take drugs, it makes your brain work haphazardly. There's something they call psychosis. Psychosis is like semi-madness. The person may just get up from his bed, pick up his car keys, get to the front of his house and stands there. Can't remember where he's going to. He got up from his bed, he dressed up, picked up his car keys, gets to the foot of his car and stands there. And he has forgotten where he's going to. That's what drugs can do to you. Then at a point, drugs may be pushing you to kill someone. If you refuse to kill someone, drugs may be pushing you to kill yourself. Suicidal tendencies. Homicidal tendencies. Then it also has, move about 3 slides away, social consequences. Social means within the society. What does drug make you do within the society? Crime turns you into a criminal. You have accidents. Because you take drugs, you speed. You are careless. In school, you start to be absent from class. Truancy. You start to lose grades. You who used to be an A-class student, you hardly get D anymore because you are no more doing well in school. Then you start to get into dangerous behaviors, bullying, fighting, physical consequences. When drugs enter your body, it destroys the body. It destroys your kidney, your liver, your lungs, your heart. And when your internal organs are destroyed, what happens? Who can tell me what happens? Pardon? When your internal organs are done, the person dies. It's just like when you have a car and you spoil the engine of the car, what happens to that car? The car is gone. So when your internal organ, your kidney, your liver, your heart is damaged by drugs, the person dies eventually. The next few questions I will be pointing fingers at you so that I'll know those that are still listening and those that are not listening. If you have any questions so far, let me know. If you don't understand what I've said so far, let me know. So you understand what I've said so far? If I ask you questions now, you can answer. Huh? Okay, let me try before we move on. Who should I ask? Yeah. Should someone should volunteer first. Okay, good. Tell me 1 or 2 things that drugs will do to you.
First of all, you said it will change the way your body functions. Mm-hmm. And medicinal drugs will heal your ailments. Mm-hmm. And the second one, he said, if you take drug haphazardly, it can cause death or damage to your body systems.
Okay. You did well. Give him a clap. Okay, so we'll continue, and I'll keep asking questions. The recent trends. This one, I will not talk about it much because you are youth and I don't want you to go experimenting. I will not talk much about it. But these are things that people take. A few of them I will talk about because you might be exposed to them. Indian hemp. That's cannabis. Indian hemp will remain in your body for an upward of about 3 weeks if you take it. And it stays in your body fat. Periodically, even if you have not taken it for like 1 week, you see the person checking because the fat releases some of the chemical into the bloodstream. And they say, it's the drugs that is jainje because it's in the body. Run away from it. These synthetic cannabinoids, these are Indian hemp varieties that are made in the lab, in the science lab. What do you see here? Do you know what this is? Oncolos. How many of you know Oncolos? That is the one that is called Colorado. We have a lot of them. Colorado, Ice, Arizona. What do you do when they come to you with them? Skunk, also from cannabis. Rofinol from cannabis. What is this? How many of you know squishes? Okay, how many of you do not know squishes? If you don't know squishes, let me see your hand. Squishes. Okay, who can tell us what squishes is? Those of you that know squishes. Let me come to this side this time. Who knows squishes? You all know squishes here. Yeah. Will you tell us what squishes is? Do you know squishes? You didn't raise up your hand when I said if you don't. Who knows squishes here? You know squishes. Oh yeah, tell us what squishes is. For the benefit of those who don't know. Okay. He's answering the question doesn't make him a bad boy. It just makes him a knowledgeable person. So he's not a bad boy, he's just knowledgeable. Go ahead.
Squishy is like a watery, like a liquid. Squishy is a liquid substance. Like they take it, they put it very sweet, and then that's the way they lure them, and it has diverse effects on the body system.
Squishes is a substance that is sweetened, and they call it beverage. Some people drink it in parties, and it's always like strawberry juice. But squishes is dangerous. Squishes contain a lot of chemicals that you don't even want to go near. Run away from squishes. When you do your end of the year parties, you do your Christmas parties, Easter parties, and all that, and you go to the park, you see some of your colleagues who come with those things in bottles, and they tell you, Kilele is squishes. And you drink, you taste it, it's sweet. That sweetness is put in there to cover the drugs that it contains. Every squishes you see contains more than like 4, 5, 6 different kinds of drugs. Run away from it. And there are some chemicals, some drugs that when they put into it, the ketamine, for instance, it's, you know what tranquilizer is? Tranquilizer is something that puts you to sleep. So when they want to do operation for you, they tranquilize, they give you drugs that will make you sleep. This drug I'm talking about is a veterinary drug used to make horses sleep. And they find their way into your squishes. And it's supposed to deaden your body. But what does it do in addition to that? Those of you that are females here, it will sterilize you permanently, irreversibly. You know what sterilize means? It will make you infertile. When eventually in the next few years you get married, there's a problem having children. Because you took squishes a few years back and it contained that chemical. I'm not saying every squishes contain it, but most of it contain it. And you may not know the one that contain it. Run away from squishes. It may sterilize you, make you unable to have children for life. And no doctor can change it. Be careful. So run away from squishes. Then we have cocaine and other ones there. This one, kush. You see what it is? They bring dead people from the grave and grind their bones, and people smoke it. Which one? What is this? Do you know how that works? They put their nose on pit latrine and inhale. Why do they do that? It contains ammonia. These are things that people do. 10-day-old urine. They pee in a container and put in their room and drink. I know body youth will not do that. Am I lying? There are many other ones there I will not talk about. Spirogera. Who can tell me what spirogera is? That green thing. You know spirogera? Some people take spirogera. Then how do you come to take drugs? The pyramid, please. How do you come to take drugs? The drugs can be taken or comes to be abused when 3 things happen to you. The host, that is you yourself, the host factor. Are you susceptible? Did you go about taking drugs? Did you experiment with it? Did you allow your friends to lure you into it? That is the host factor. Then the next factor is the environment. Are you in a place where they are taking drugs? What does that tell you? Stay away from places where they take drugs. If you go to a party and you see that the people there are taking drugs, just walk away. It's not mandatory that you must attend the party. Then the agent itself, the drugs, is it readily available? If it's available, people are likely to take it. Now, how do we know if someone is taking drugs? Listen to this so that you can watch your friends, you can watch your classmates, and you can suggest to your teachers to watch out this person. When your colleagues are beginning to be secretive. This is a friend you've had for years. Now this friend is, you close from school. You don't even know where your friend goes to anymore. You don't know the friends your friends keep anymore. He starts to hide things from you. You need to watch that friend and start suspecting something is wrong, maybe drugs. Then your friend changes the way they dress. I like the way you are dressed now. You are dressed like my youth. But when one person in this room comes to the convention next year with jeans that are torn and is this spaghetti now they call that thing? That tiny crop top. Comes with crop top and torn jeans. And the guy comes and the waistline here, we call it sagging, Abi. It starts to sag. That is not the dressing for Bodija youths. If he comes to this convention dressed like that, there's a problem. You start to watch around. Then if in school, this person starts to skip class. This person starts to skip class. Doesn't attend class anymore. You are in class, you don't see him. You are going to school, he leaves home, he doesn't get to school. Then maybe in the dormitory, things in your dormitory starts to miss. Your money, your wristwatches, your small jewelry, your shoes. Somebody starts stealing in your dormitory and starts to sell. He may be using the money to buy drugs. Then when you see somebody that the eyes are always red, he's not sick. He's not from the swimming pool. But all the time, the eyes are red. It's always bloodshot. You need to watch out. And all the time, you see this person chewing gum. He's always chewing gum, always taking tom-tom. Because drugs smell, so he will take these things so that the drugs will not smell. Then things that they used to do before, they don't like doing it anymore. This person used to be the worship leader whenever you come here. Now you come to camp, he just sits in one corner. You give him a microphone. You see, I take Ojunyelo now. Doesn't want to sing anymore. Doesn't want to be the drummer anymore. Doesn't want to lead anything. Doesn't want to lead Bible study. Things that he's used to doing. He just loses interest in them. Then when all those things happen, what does the drugs do to your body eventually? Mental health problems. What is mental health? Mental is brain. When the brain is not healthy, how sick is that person? Very, very sick. So it gives you mental health problem. Skip the next few slides. Let's go to pictures. Alcohol-induced acute intoxication. You see that picture? This person is sleeping. Can you sleep in that position? Because the brain is not working correctly. So it's comfortable sleeping in that position. Move to the next slide. When you smoke, this is what your lungs turn into. This is the lungs of a normal person. You see the difference? The smoke takes tar. Tar is black. You know, when you go to the kitchen in the villages where Mama used to do firewood, how many of you have seen that? Firewood kitchen. Those black things that gather around the roof is called tar. Do you know what tar is? Have you been to a kitchen where they do firewood? Have you seen tire being burnt? Where they burn tires? You see that black smoke that comes out of it. Anywhere it settles, what do you think will happen? It will be black. Those black things that they leave behind is called tar. When you smoke, that is what is left behind in your lungs. And that is why the lungs turn to that after a while. And someone whose lung is like that can no longer breathe well. If you run from here to the gate, by the time he gets to the flower bed there, he stops and he starts breathing. Because his lungs is damaged. He's not living well anymore. The next slide. This is the leg of somebody who takes cocaine. Cocaine gets into the system and destroys the flow of blood. Now, blood is no more getting to that leg, and that leg is dying off gradually. By the time he leaves the hospital, they may amputate that person. Amputate means to cut off the leg. He will come back with crutches or walking stick with one leg because they took cocaine. The next slide. Worst of all, when you take drugs, I told you that some of them will slow down the way your brain thinks. So by the time you are driving your car at 100 kilometers per hour and you see something in front of you that you need to stop, your eyes will see it. Your eyes will tell the brain, you need to stop. Before your brain processes it, because of drugs, it will be slow. Before your brain starts to tell your leg, press the brake. You have already hit the thing, and that's what it results into, accidents. Because the way your brain processes things will be slow. Your reaction time will be slow. You know what reaction time is? Do you know what reaction time is? The time it takes you to react to something. For instance, if I come near you now and I want to slap you, what reaction? You want to block it or you want to dodge? But if you take drugs, by the time I raise my hand, you see my hand coming. But before your brain registers it, I've slapped you like 10 times. Because your brain will not even register what is happening. That is why somebody that takes drugs will look at his 4-year-old child and beat him to death. And when they ask him, what did you do? Moroko kete ni. You know what okete is? Wild rat. The brain tells him that his 4-year-old son is a wild rat, and he killed him. Next slide. These are the ways drugs are taken. Let's skip this. Next slide. Next slide. Another one. Go to before and after. Keep going. What all these slides are telling us is how to go about prevention. I'm talking to you now. We are trying to prevent you from taking drugs. If anybody has started taking drugs, the best way we can go about it is counseling. And if the person is beyond counseling, the person goes to UCH, Arrow, where they will chain them to the bed. The person is mad already. Now, the before and after. Who knows this person? He's a musician. Who knows her? They are all Generation Alpha. Gen Zs don't even know this person much. Have you ever heard the name Whitney Houston? That's Whitney Houston. She's the one that sang The Greatest Love of All. You know that song? The greatest love of all is happening to me. Sang lots of beautiful songs in her days. Beautiful songs. The first two pictures are when she was singing beautifully. The next two pictures is when she started taking drugs and messed up her life. She eventually died taking drugs, overdose. She was married to another musician called I'll remember the name soon. They had a daughter, and a few years after she died, her daughter also died taking drugs. Yes. And everybody blamed the husband. The husband takes drugs, but he's still alive. The next slide. Who knows this person? Not Bob Marley. Thank you. Majek Fashek. Have you ever heard a song, Send Down the Rain to water up my seed? Send down the rain. Send down the rain. That's the man that was sending down the rain. The black picture was when he was sending down the rain. The other one was when the rain stopped being sent down because of drugs. The next slide. You may start to know this person. Amy Winehouse. You know her. She's dead now too. The first two are also dead. Amy Winehouse is also dead. This is where, before she took drugs, after she took drugs, and eventually died. Next slide. Who knows this person? Home Alone. Thank you. He's the star in Home Alone. I watched it as a child, as a young person. You also watched it. See him when he was doing Home Alone. Beautiful young boy. This is him as an adult, a drug addict. You see the difference? Next slide. I don't know this person, but this is what drugs did to her within 3 years. This is 2003, this is 2006. The same person. Next slide. Within 7 years, the same person. That's what drugs can do to you. Next slide. The same person within 3 years. See all the face contour is changed. The same person. The next slide. That girl you see there, smoking, is the same person wearing white blouse there. When she was photographed here, she was on the streets in Lagos taking drugs. She was rescued, and eventually, that is her there, wearing white. After drugs, she was rescued. The next slide. This is the same person. The first picture, what is he doing there? Basketballer. One of the best professions you can make money of in the United States. He made money and became this. I don't even know what to describe him as here. Herbalist. That is what drugs can do to you. Imagine seeing your classmates, fine boy, coming back to school after holidays, like this. Next slide. Now we are coming closer home. Zeno, you all know him. Zeno Liski Abi, Mohbad's friend. This is when Zeno Liski was still a good boy. See what he has turned to after a while. Drugs. Next slide. Oh, you know him. Fela Anikulapo Kuti, Ransom Kuti. One of the greatest Afrobeat singers of his time. The father sent him to the United States, or is it UK, to become a lawyer. He went to I went abroad, and you know, it's not like now. If your dad sent you abroad now, he can just hop on a flight. 5 hours is there. And he can catch you doing what. Then it will take 2-3 weeks on the ship. There were no direct flights. So nobody went to check on Fela. Fela left law school and went into music school. So he actually studied music and came back. When he was coming back, instead of coming back with a wig, he came back with trumpets, trombone, saxophones, set drums, keyboards, and the parents were like, Ambolakberu, yi timbo. Fela said he has become a musician. Fair enough. You can become a musician, but you can still be okay. He now added long and big raps of Igbo. That's where he lost it. This is what he became. He started singing on the stage with his pants alone. Who in his right senses will see a fully loaded auditorium? Everybody has come to see you and hear you sing. And you remove your trouser, remove your shirt, remove your singlet, wearing underpants alone, no shoes. You now carry a microphone and are now coming to sing. Is that not madness? That's what drugs will do. And because he was taking drugs, he eventually lapsed into careless behaviors. At a point, one day, he married 70 women. Abi? Married 70 women. All of them were his wives. All his backup singers were his wives. All the cooks in the house were his wives. Everybody in the house were his wives. And he eventually died of HIV/AIDS. Drugs led him to risky behavior, all mixed together. Next slide. Portable. I don't need to talk much about him. But there was a time Portable was looking like a gentleman. And he was still singing. Then at a point, he started taking drugs. The hair color changed. He parted the hair. Half of it will be purple today, the next half yellow. You can't even describe him. Every day, he goes to a tattoo parlor and keeps adding tattoo upon tattoo upon tattoo until all his body were covered with tattoos. See the way he's looking. He's actually like Fela. He's wearing his underwear in that picture. Nobody in his right senses will get caught in front of a camera dressed like this. except maybe at a pool, swimming pool, or at a beach. And that is a swim trunk, not your underwear. Next slide. (2004, 2023), the same person. The same person. The same person. 2004, 2013. The same person. The next slide. These are different kinds of drugs that people take. Injection, tablets, powders, syrup. You have codeine syrup. You have all sorts of tablets. The next slide. These are powders, tablets, and the next slide, please. Then you have people moving drugs. I'll just talk about that briefly. If you are traveling and somebody you don't know, just say, Abami Badani, be careful, especially if you're in the airport. Be very, very careful. People have gone to prison for helping people like that. Or somebody comes to tell you he has a small bag. You are carrying a small bag. He has plenty. And he has overweight. They're asking him to pay more. And since yours is small, just add it to yours. When they get to the other side, they will collect it. Don't agree. If you are compelled to help, give him some money to go and pay for extra weight. Because you may collect that bag at the checkpoints of the other country. They check and they find drugs in it. That bag has been labeled against your name already. So if you keep shouting, it's not my own, it's his own, you will see that man walk past you and go, and nothing will happen to him. He will be stopped and you'll be sent to prison. There are many ways they hide drugs. I won't tell you those ones. Next slide. Okay. We've kind of come to the end. What I did was to rush through and to try to break it down for you. I tried to break it down, and I hope that most of what I tried to explain, you understand. I want us to have the next 20, 30 minutes for questions. Whatever you don't understand in what I've told you, don't be shy. You are here, you need to learn, you need to understand so that you can protect your life and your future. So you don't understand, ask questions. Whatever I said, if you're not clear, ask questions. Whatever I did not say, if you need to know, ask questions. I'm ready to answer your questions now.
Okay, praise the Lord. Yeah, my first question is that when you notice someone, because you said how to know people that are, when you now realize that, okay, this person is taking drug or he or she is into drug, how can you be of help to the person?
Good. If you see that your classmate or your friend is behaving funny and you think they may be taking drugs, talk to an elderly person. Maybe your teacher. If it's in church, you can talk to the chaplain. Daddy, I suspect this. They know the right thing to do. They bring them to NDLEA. We have counselors. These two officers, they are counselors. They know how to talk to you. They know how to find out if you are taking drugs. And if need be, they know how to put you in counseling, rehabilitation. Within 3 months, you'll be off those drugs. And the person comes back to society clean. But don't think that if I take drugs, I will go and report myself. Then they will take me to rehabilitation and I will come clean. Some don't come clean. So it's safer not to even attempt it. We've had people who have been clean for 11 years and they are lured back. It's called relapse. And the minute they take it, they overdose and they die. Do you know why that happens? there are things they call resistance, body resistance. I don't know, some of you will understand this, some will not. It's in the DNA. That's why you see that two people sit in a beer parlor. One person finishes a whole carton of beer. He picks up his car keys and he drives home, and nothing happens. The same beer parlor, one person drinks a bottle of beer. He gets up and he staggers and falls. The DNA of one person is resistant to drugs. The DNA of the other is not. You see, some people describe it as they are being lightheaded. That they are too lightheaded, they can't take alcohol. So it's in the DNA. Once in a while, it doesn't happen like that. You see people that will take drugs and nothing will happen. Some will take, the first time they take, they run mad. Some, they take it for a while, they run mad. Then some are taken to rehabilitation. They are clean for life. Some are taken to rehabilitation. They come back and they become our visitors like 3-4 times before they are clean. Some become our visitors and never get clean and eventually overdose and die. Because if you take drugs, the summary of the whole of this lecture is that you will get addicted. It will destroy your internal organ, including the brain. And it will give you a slow and a painful and untimely death. Those are the 3 things that happen. You will get addicted. You will not be able to control your quest for drugs. Your body will continue to ask for drugs. You don't want it, but your body will continue to force you to take it. That is addiction. At that point, you cannot help yourself anymore. You need the help of my 2 guys there, working assiduously for months to get you off. And if they don't succeed, and you continue taking it, it will destroy your internal organs. And when it destroys your internal organ, you become a sick person. You become an image of yourself. You discover that you die slowly, painfully, and untimely. You see a young person in the hospital bed, and they tell you liver problem, kidney problem. And this person is dying slowly. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Possibly, along the line, they've taken certain drugs that destroy those things. Possibly. And you see them, some of them crying, they don't want to die. Now, me go give them my own liver. Even their mother will not give hers. We have only one. Or if it's kidney failure, who will give a kidney? I don't think I will give anybody my kidney. Because the problem, one, you give your kidney, the other person's body may even reject it. And at that point, they can't return it to your body. Now you have 1 kidney short. Go and drink what you're not supposed to drink. Drink agbo alone. You may land in the hospital. So the rest of your life, you are living, watching what you eat and drink and the air you breathe. You are watching everything because you have only 1 kidney. The person you gave your kidney to, the body say no want. Or at worst, the person gets slightly well and goes back to those attitudes, habits, and destroy the kidney again. What do you do about that? Next question.
So my question. Says they taught us in school that those that take drugs that are caught, they go to prison for a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of 25 years. So I want to ask, is that true? Because the last time I heard you give lecture on drugs, you said that if they are caught, they just take them to rehabilitation centers.
There are 2 categories of people. 3. Those who manufacture, those who sell, and those who use. Those who manufacture, when they are arrested, they go to prison. Those who sell, when they are caught, arrested, they go to prison. At a point, I told you that those who use, at a point they cannot do what? They can no longer help themselves. They become sick. You don't send a sick person to prison. When someone is a drug user, we treat you as a sick person that needs help. So if you find a friend that is taking drugs, don't tell them they will go to prison 15 years old. They will run away and keep using drugs. Tell them that the society sees them as a sick person that requires help. And the government and the society is there to help them recover. We help them recover. Are you talking of vitamin C tablets? Any pharmaceutical that is taken beyond the right prescription is drug misuse and is bad for the body. Any. If you take vitamin C at the right dosage, perfect for the body. If you take too much, that's misuse of drugs, bad for the body. Because the body works on balance. And if the body is off balance, you feel sick. There are times you lack calcium, you feel bone ache. There are times you lack magnesium. You can do by Megad all night long. Your eyes will be open, you can't sleep. And if magnesium gets back into your body, you sleep like a baby. So the body works on balance. If you tilt the balance by taking too much of certain things, no matter how good it is, your body becomes sick. Who likes food here? You like food? If you overdo it, what happens? You become sick. As much as we like to eat, if you take too much of food, you become sick. Who likes ice cream? When you take too much ice cream, what happens? You purge. Who likes meat? Meat. You take too much meat, what happens? You purge. That is food, not even chemicals. So everything that the body needs must be given to the body in moderation. If you overdo it, you fall sick. Water. If you drink too much water, you unbalance the body water balance. You unbalance it, and you will fall sick. Even water. So you can't take too much water. You take too much water, you fall sick. You eat too much food, you fall sick. You eat too much meat. Too much of everything will make you sick. Those are things that are even good for the body. Now, vitamin C is compact chemicals. Many of pharmaceutical drugs are chemicals. So you need to watch how those things get into your body and the quantity. If they tell you not more than 3 tablets a day, don't go beyond 3. If you now take like 10 because you think vitamin C will make your body glow, sorry, you'll fall sick eventually.
So I watched the documentary about Amy Winehouse, and at some point she was a drug addict, and then she went to rehab. When she got back from rehab, she didn't take drugs again for some while, and like she used the cravings for drugs. She started taking food to like control the cravings for the drugs. But then I just want to ask that why did she relapse if she started taking food for the cravings of the drugs?
I told you that the best prevention for drug culture is not to even start it at all. Once you start it, it takes the grace of God. Do you know how many times Whitney Houston went to rehab and came out clean? And she eventually overdosed on drugs. I know a politician's son in Lagos. I won't mention his name or his father's name. Very well-known politician. The son was into drugs and was clean for over 11 years. He even became an advocate with NDLEA, going around with my bosses and talking to people. And somehow, somewhere, he just went back and took it. The same day he took it, he overdosed and died. Amy Winehouse could have taken to food for craving. But when you take to eating to kill a craving, you are just substituting it temporarily. That means the craving is still there. If rehab worked, you shouldn't crave for drugs anymore. So the fact that she was craving for drugs and she now goes to start eating, should tell her that she needed to go back to rehab. She failed to do that, and that's why she eventually killed herself. Because food cannot take the place of drugs. Your body needs drugs. You are not hungry, you start stuffing it with food. Bad choice. If her body needs drugs and she says, okay, instead of taking drugs, she puts on her canvas and goes to hit the gym. Better alternative. Sweat it out. Do a marathon. Go and play tennis. Do anything. Exercise. Better than eating. Somebody was going to ask a question there and somebody there.
So, like, my question is, people that are obsessed with sleeping, like they oversleep. Any small thing, they're always tired and sleep like every time. Is it like an effect of drug abuse?
If you sleep too much, it could be that you did not sleep well last night. That person is sick. It could be an early sign of organ failure, kidney, liver. Liver, kidney problem will make you sleep anyhow. You are in the class, you are sleeping. You are in church, the only time you are not sleeping is when you are standing and singing a song. Once you sit on the pew, the best time you enjoy your sleep is when the sermon starts. When you hear, and now unto God, and the chairs do, you wake up. Then plenty now. You would know. My daddy will know. When you stand in front and you face the congregation, you know better. you know the sleepers and you know the ones that are alert all through your service. But sleeping a lot could be a drug issue. I know someone who spends the whole night looking for drugs. 3 a.m., he will jump the house fence and go from Onireke, will go to Sabo to look for drugs, 3 a.m. And he will now spend most of the night taking drugs. What do you think will happen to that person during the day? He will sleep. So it could be that he has a drug problem. And it could also be that he has a health problem. So it's not necessarily a drug problem. And it could be that he was busy last night and just didn't sleep well. Maybe he was reading. Maybe something happened. He was watching Netflix all night long. Or maybe drug abuse. Maybe he took energy drink and it will keep him awake. And he decided to watch Netflix. And Netflix helped the energy drink to keep him awake till 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. And he starts to try to sleep at 4 a.m. and eventually got to sleep at 6 a.m. or 5:30, and the alarm rings at 6 a.m. He will definitely sleep wherever he goes to the next day. So it could be drugs, and it could be a health problem, and it could be time management problem. Not sleeping when you are supposed to sleep. Because we also said, part of the slides we skipped there is, part of how you can recover your health is to have a well-balanced lifestyle, which includes sleeping well. Many of us don't sleep well. I know I don't sleep well. Hmm?
I want to ask, you showed us about 3 types of drugs. I think you talked about a stimulant. There's the third one, you said when you use it, you hear sounds. And then I want to ask, is there a relationship between drugs and, let me say, spirituality? I don't know how, I just want to, if there is,
I understand your question. Is there a relationship between drugs and spiritual experience? I know that's your question. There is a community somewhere in the United States where drugs is part of what they take in communion. When they take their communion, they take drugs. And once they finish taking drugs, you see them shaking their head and dancing wildly. And then, emiaso. It happens. It happens. But the hallucinogens I'm talking about are the ones that will make you hallucinate. You see things that are not there. When you see a mad person having a very, very hot and serious conversation, he's seen somebody and he's actually talking to something. You see him walking on the street and talking, then he will turn back again and warn another one to go back. And you start wondering, Talon Basoro. He's gisting with somebody and another one is following him and he's saying, go back. He's seen things. That's hallucination. The psychosis that he has is making him hallucinate. And the same way I tried to make an example, somebody that hallucinates can go to, how many of you know Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos? You can go to Third Mainland Bridge, come down from your car, and when you look at that water, it looks like a very, very calm swimming pool. And you just want to take a dip. Hallucination. Hallucination. Or you climb a hotel, which is the tallest building in Ibadan itself. You go to the top of Cocoa House. Cocoa House is, the yard is paved, concrete. You go to the top and you look down and all you see is a swimming pool beckoning at you to dive. If you dive into that concrete, what happens? But you are not seeing concrete, you are seeing pool. And you can swear to God that you saw pool. That's hallucination. That's why I say that you start to hear colors and see sound. How can you see sound? The brain don't knock. Questions? I would like to address, before your question, I would like to address one thing. Some people will tell you that drug gives them inspiration. I would like to address that.
Okay, sir.
When you want to be a musician or you want to be an artist, some believe that you must take drugs to excel. That drugs will give you inspiration. When we were defining drugs the other time, we said when it gets into the body, what does it do? Electrical and chemical reaction, neurological chain reaction. That electrical reaction is the firing of neurons in the brain. Neurons, who know what neurons are? Neurons are part of the brain cell that helps you with thinking. This man has run away. Okay. It helps you with thinking. So when the brain is firing fast, you discover that you are thinking fast and wild. That is what some people call inspiration. But let me now explain what happens. You see this bulb up there? It's connected to a generating set. I can hear it. If you go to the back where it's working and you increase the power outage that comes in, what happens to these bulbs? It will go brighter. That's inspiration. Then you keep increasing the voltage. What happens? Brighter and brighter until it blows. So that inspiration keeps coming until the engine knocks. The brain will blow up eventually. Because the brain is not meant to work like that. So when the brain overworks due to chemical reaction, it gets to a point where the brain stops working. And that is where the reality of the brain is changed.
what can we do to someone that sniffs petrol?
There is a category of drugs that is called inhalant. Petrol falls under inhalant. Petrol, nail polish removers, rubber solution, the one they use to patch tire. What do those three things have in common? They give out fumes. It's the fumes that people inhale. In those days, many of us that have used mouth to draw petrol on a hose, you may have accidentally inhaled that fume and it hits you. Instantly, you have headache. If you are used to drugs, it makes you feel good. If you are not used to drugs, it will give you a nagging headache. It's because of the fume. Those that take drugs want that fume. The same thing they want from nail polish remover. It has that same fume. The same thing they want from rubber solution, meant to patch tires. You see in the north, they'll put it in bread nylon and inhale it, put it over their nose and mouth and inhale. And it knocks them off. There's also something that they drink in the north. They call it sucrodie. Cannabis, that's Indian hemp. They do an Indian hemp solution. You know what solution is? When you boil it and it becomes like agbo. Then they put formalin. Formalin that is used to preserve dead bodies. They put it with igbo and they drink. And it gives them high. Further questions?
So, I'm sorry. Please.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, my voice is. Yes, I've heard about trigger-happy officers. I know you deal with NDLEA and your men are harmed. Is there any time that your men are subjected to maybe tests? Is it periodical? And if you can answer for your own agency, please, sir, do you know anything about other men in uniform? We know that people have been killed over 20 naira. We know that there have been sporadic shooting and things like that. That is number one question, sir. The second question, so that you answered it too. On several occasions, your men on the highway have stopped vehicles and they would just look at some people and would tell them to come down. For the sake of not being in trouble by association, our youth, what should they look out for before they just get inside the vehicle and they begin to flow with somebody that gives them a bag, not at the airport now, but in the car? And then your men say, come down. Who owns that bag? Follow him. Please, sir, I'd like you to look into it.
Thank you, sir. Let me answer the last one first. When a vehicle is stopped at the checkpoint, what we usually do, the vehicle can be an 18-seater vehicle. Instead of asking every vehicle to stop and everybody to come down, we do something professionally that is called profiling. We have certain ways we profile people to look and be like, this person has a potential. Let's check him out. In some cases, they are clean. In some cases, they are on drugs, or they are taking drugs, or they are moving with drugs. So we could look at your demeanor, your posture, your outlook, your dressing, your fashion, a lot of things, your facial outlook. There are many things, and at times by just talking to the person, you may start to suspect and tell them to come down. So what's pointing at a few in the vehicle and saying, please, you and you, come down, let's see your bags. It's called profiling. And the easiest way is when you get into a commercial vehicle, it is not daddy's vehicle. You don't go to a commercial vehicle and make unnecessary friends. You have 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour journey to make, and you may never see again for life. If you make friends, don't collect anything from them, even their phone numbers, until you get to your destination. When you are coming down from the vehicle, you may exchange numbers. Don't exchange while you're in the vehicle, so that they won't find drugs on him and you say, number, and your phone rings. Yet you are saying, I don't even know him. We met in the vehicle. And he's calling your number and he's ringing. When you are traveling, mind your journey. Don't make unnecessary friends. Especially if you don't leave home together. Don't make unnecessary friends. It's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Then number 1 question. I will honestly want to answer that by saying that law enforcement officers are an integral part of the larger society. The same larger society that has 14.5 million taking drugs. They are not immune. We have law enforcement people that take drugs. There was once one of the commanders, army commanders here, was telling us in a meeting that his oga was in the house and the guard at the gate just opened fire. Ta 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 ta. Take over, take over, take over. They don't come. Ta 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 ta. I was shooting and emptied his magazine. After he emptied his magazine, they had to quickly suppress him and they took him into custody. He was on drugs. I was issued a rifle to come and guard the oga of the command. We've had policemen too, that many of us will see this. While they are going on duty, they just sign rifle at the station. They will end up at Mamarisi, take pepper soup, and like 5 bottles of beer, then pick up their rifle. Now they are ready to work. There will be lots of bad judgment, especially when you deal with people and you handle rifles. Among my officers, I cannot tell you categorically that there are not 1 or 2 or 3 that does it, but we watch out. One that I knew was doing it was always telling me that he has spiritual problem. And when I got tired of his complaint, I said, look, let us put you in rehab. He says he doesn't take drugs. I parceled him and sent him back to people that sent him to me in Abuja. Take una thing. I don't know what they are doing with him now. There's a second one who I challenged and he denied it. We have test kits. I tested him, positive. I sent him to rehab. He went to rehab about 2 times. But I can tell you categorically now that he's clean. He has stopped taking drugs. And he's a much more better person now. So telling you that some of our officers don't, I will not stand there and tell you they don't. A few of them may. And anyone I know for a fact that you have even tasted it and you tell me you are no more doing it, you don't go near a rifle for my office. Because I don't want as desert discharge while I'm walking out of the office. A rifle will go off and hit me. No, I don't want that. And you definitely will not carry a rifle when I'm going out with you. Those that follow me here, I can vouch for all of them. Because they followed me to Lagos, they followed me to Ede, they followed me to Osun, they followed me everywhere. And as you can see, I'm not armed. So I'm comfortable leaving my security and my life in their hands and the hands of God. But on earth, they guard me. If we are going anywhere, anything happens, I can't even defend myself because I'm not armed. They are the ones carrying arms, and I'm sure of the caliber of officers they are. They don't take drugs. They are responsible. And the use of arms, sir, also depends on training. In NDLEA, we are trained like the military. Firearms is a last resort for us. You hardly ever see an NDLEA officer argue with you and the next thing is cocking his rifle. It will not happen. We will only see us cock a rifle where we see our lives in danger. The rifle will be hanging there. We can push you back, we can do anything physical, but that rifle will not be used until your life is in danger. Then you quickly cock it and you might use it. But there are some agencies, I don't know the kind of training they got. Once you tell him, come down, I know they come down, the next thing they will cock rifle for you. Come down, I know they come down, it's not a big deal. Come down from a vehicle, I'm not coming down. I'll block your way, you can't go. When you are ready to go, you come down. I'll do my work, then you go. I have the authority to stop you from passing. So why should I cock my rifle for you? I will only cock my rifle if you are coming at me with something that I know you can harm me with. Then I use that to stop you. So it's also an element of training. But in most cases, drugs are involved. It could be alcohol, it could be Indian hemp, squishies, it could be any kind of drugs. A lot of law enforcement people take drugs. That is why you young people, be very careful with them. They will not think twice before they shoot at you. They won't think twice. This last week, sir, I've had to bring 2 people from my checkpoint to my office. Gen Z, come down from the vehicle. Why should it be only me? I know they come down. Bring your bag. You search it yourself. Argument. Come down. The vehicle said they are not waiting for her. They left. She jumped into the vehicle and left her bag. Then got to Ojo. Somehow got my number and called me. Another one was having drugs. I was fighting the officers. And I keep wondering, what kind of madness is this? The one that dropped her bag, I was telling her, look, I'm Commander NDLEA in Oyo State. I cannot count the number of times police have stopped me coming from Lagos. I will park quietly. I drive, apart from this, I drive cars with federal government number. FGN. At the back, some of them donated by your state government. The police will still see this and tell me, Oga, park. And I'll quietly park. They will come to the car. I'll say, yes, what do you want? They say, open your boot. I open it, I come down. The boot is empty. What else do you want to ask for? One asks that, what are the vehicle particulars? I say, go and look at the plate number. That's the federal government plate. And tell me how many of your federal government cars in the police, your police headquarters, they carry paper. Now, this car doesn't have paper. It's federal government car. When you get to a checkpoint, this is apart from drugs, be calm. That is their work environment. Some of them have been working for hours. They are tensed. They are tired. Some of them are frustrated. Then they now see you, a young person coming. God help yourself. If not that they jeep, they go drop you for school. This one, they enjoy life. And only God knows where they get the money. But Bele go enter. Then they now ask you, come down for search. You say, why am I being searched? Am I the only one? That man can shoot you and the driver and nothing will happen. No. They will shoot and plant something on you. They can give any allegation. And what I told that girl, sir, is that dead men don't talk. If they have, no matter how clean you are, he's saying this, you cannot say no. People may say no for you, but they will say, no, lagidi there. Then for the ones that are a bit grown up and adults, maybe you are driving your car, people will be like, so he's a criminal. People will tend to be like, it's possible, it could be. But the fact of the matter is, this person is already dead and gone. So even if they say the policemen are wrong, they've already killed. So whatever it takes, when I get to a checkpoint, I told her, I said, I am in a hurry to leave that place. My people run checkpoints too. When I get to checkpoints, I'm in a hurry to leave. So you ask me this paper, I give you. You ask me this one, I give you. You ask me that one, I give you. When you start to ask rubbish, I tell you, excuse me, see my badge. I'm an NDLEA officer. I'm the commander in Oyo. Can I go now, please? In most cases, they'll be like, okay, sorry, if you don't tell us now. I say, no, you are doing your work. And I drive away from there. But I don't want to stay around there. Because checkpoints are places where you may see a robber coming, wanting to steal arms and just open fire on everybody, including the person caught there by chance. So you get to a checkpoint, cooperate. Police stops you, cooperate. This generation of I know my right, I know my right. You don't know your right, so I know my rights. Infringing on my fundamental human rights. I've heard it several times. When they get to our office and I tell them what their right is and where their right stops, they start to cry. One came and said he knows his fundamental right. He's not obstructing. He's not doing this. I said, give me the element of what constitutes obstruction. He couldn't. I said, while you were being searched and you were fighting my officers, virtually all of them concentrated on you. You know how many vehicles passed? Even your vehicle, how many were you in your vehicle? He said the vehicle was full. I said it's an 18-seater. How many were searched? Only you. 17 others went free. You obstructed them by being violent at the checkpoint because you distracted their attention. So with that, I can take you to court. He bowed his head and started crying. So when you get to checkpoints, please, I beg you in the name of God. When they tell you stop, stop. When they tell you come down, come down. Open your boot, open. Oh, there was one, sir. My uniform was in a nylon bag, laid on my bags in the boot. Open your boot. I opened the boot. He saw the uniform. He used his hand to push it away. I want to see this bag. I opened it for him. These shoes were at the corner with my cap in one corner. He pushed everything away. I want to see that bag. I opened it for him. After I finished, he now asked that, may I know you? When he said, may I know you, I now asked that, do you know this uniform? He looked at, I don't know, say you're a uniform man. I said, now you know who I am. Can I go? When he was pushing it aside, I didn't fight him. Because to be very sincere with you, I don't know if he's on drugs before he came to the checkpoint. He won't think twice before he shoots me. When he shoots me, he will put a homemade gun inside my car. And he will tell them that when he stopped me, I pulled the gun. That's why he shot. And people say, what here? No, Yaju. Checkpoint. And even if people come to say, no, he's calm, he won't do that. The policemen are wrong. Whether they're wrong, they're not wrong. I'm dead already. So what's the point? So in most cases, calmness. You don't know your rights. Don't go and quote it right for somebody that is a law enforcement officer whose entire life is based on human rights. We take away rights. That's the truth. When I arrest you, I've taken away your right to freedom. I may lock you in my office and your family comes and I tell them, you cannot see him. I'm not comfortable with you. Right of association. I've taken that away from you again. I charge you to court. The court now says, jail him for this. You have your freedom has been completely taken away legally. And if it is an offense that the state decides that this person does not even be fit to live among us anymore, and they give a death sentence, your right to life has been taken away. So law enforcement officers take away rights by law. So don't go to them and tell them you know your rights. Especially police. When you see police wear black, don't ever do the mistake of telling a policeman, I know my right to. If you wake up from a bed, you have not gotten up from a bed, a policeman can slap you with 10 charges. You just woke up, you have not even gotten up. He comes to meet you in your bed. He will slap you with 10 charges on your bed. So be careful, please. I think we are done. One more question, quickly.
I heard some medical practitioners give out drugs to their clients. Some medical practitioners give out drugs to their clients, like they prescribe drugs to them. Why is it allowed and isn't it harmful to their health? things like marijuana.
In Nigeria, no medical practitioner will give you marijuana, Indian hemp. But you'll see in Nigeria, some medical practitioner may give you tramadol. They may give you swinol. They may give you some controlled substances based on your health challenge. There are pharmaceuticals that are called controlled substances. They are under the control of pharmacists. Only a doctor can prescribe and only a pharmacist can issue out. They are kept in a box that is called poison box. So you can't go to a chemist and tell a chemist, I want to buy tramadol. If a chemist sells you tramadol, he has gone foul of the law. Chemists can only sell over-the-counter drugs like paracetamol, things like that. When you find controlled substances that only a doctor can prescribe and only a pharmacist can issue in a chemist, he has gone against the law. So medical practitioners can prescribe some controlled substances depending on the health challenge the person is facing. Some are painkillers, some are suppressants, different things.
Thank you, sir. So it's known that peer pressure and environment are factors that contribute to the widespread of drug abuse. So I want to ask that what are the policies and measures that are taken? Because looking at the younger ones now in the schools, are there like policies that are incorporated in the curriculum and also in the local environment? Because not everyone have access to lectures like this. What are the measures in place to curb the widespread of drug abuse? Thank you, sir.
Peer pressure. I think I will zero peer pressure, collapsing under peer pressure to parentage. How good is the parenting we got? Many of us have been under peer pressure to do certain things. And if you are tempted, you'll be like, you just remember that song your mom used to sing, Mama Enity One Show. And that may debar you from derailing. When I was in school, University of Ilorin, I had very close friends. I didn't know they were taking drugs then. But somehow they knew my stance about whatever they were doing. All of a sudden, I just got that they disappear. I may not see them for 2 hours, 3 hours. The next time I see them, I just flow with them. I didn't know who they were. It was later on, years later, that I know that they were hiding in the workshop to take drugs. But because maybe they've tested me and I didn't even know, and they discovered that I was not going to flow with that, they stayed away. So peer pressure can come upon you if you don't have a stance. For instance, peer pressure can debar you from, in the workplace. I used to tell people that let them know in your workplace that every Wednesday you close early because you have midweek service or you have a prayer meeting. Let it be part of what they know you for. I take a file about close Wednesday. Let them know you for that. The same way we know our Muslim brothers for the prayer time. A regular Muslim brother, you will not find them at their seat at 1:32 on a Friday because he has gone to the mosque. And it is known, and nobody disputes it. There are certain of our Muslim brothers that you know that they have certain prayer times and they keep it strictly in their office or in the mosque in their office. Around this time is afternoon prayer. He will be in the mosque and he will be there. So if you go to his desk, you have to either drop whatever you take there or you come back because he has gone to pray. Because he has taken that stance, this is who I am and this is what I do at this time. So with that, with people knowing your stance on certain things, they will not even approach you with pressure. They will not. If they know you are not the partying type, they won't come asking you to go to parties with them. Talk less of offering you drugs. But if they know that In the daytime, he's a good boy. In the night, he's ready to jump the fence with them. They will tell you to come and jump fence with them. And you go to parties, they push things to you. And if you fall, you get addicted. I think we are done. More questions? Oh yeah, come with your questions. My lecture was supposed to end at 2:30, 3:30.
Sorry, sir.
You are supposed to be on what now? Break? Another lecture. Networking is like gisting. Or what? Break time. So you are using your break time to answer questions now. I'm not the one, no. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All these, sir, all these celebrities that take drugs like Naira Marley now is not I don't know, is not secret about it. He does it openly. Why is he not apprehended for it?
I told you earlier that taking drugs is not a crime. Someone who takes drugs is a sick person. You didn't hear when I said so. Did I not say so? I said the person that manufactures drugs is a criminal. The person who sells is a criminal. The person who uses is a sick person. Because at a point, he can't even control himself. And if I have malaria, for instance, and I'm in my house, I cover cloth. Is there any law that says the hospital must come and drag me out of my bed and inject me with chloroquine? I'm sick. If I don't seek help, nobody will give me help until it becomes another statistics. According to international standard, if you come for rehabilitation, you must come willingly. We can't force you. So if he knows he has a drug problem, he comes, we'll treat him. He takes it openly. He has a drug problem. Ours is to tell people, don't listen to Naira Marley. He's spoiling your kids. But we can't force him to go into rehabilitation. That's what international standard says. And if we go against it, we go against his rights. You can charge us for dragging him to a rehab center. So unfortunately, there's nothing we can do until he comes to us. I'm done? There are samples of some drugs here. You can come quickly after the lecture to just see before we pack them up.
Can we be upstanding? Everybody, please, please. Everybody stand. Please pay attention. The very first thing I want us to celebrate in the life of our daddy is his humility. Please, can we put our hands together? God bless you, sir. You know, some of you were not privy to something that happened when he got into the compound. He met the assistant chaplain and he practically went on his, as in he prostrated. It was, sir, I wish they saw it because that was the greatest sermon. You were not prostrating to his person, but to what he represents. He said, my daddy, I've missed you. Oh, no. Thank you, sir. They rushed in. The way they opened the door, you know how these things are done. They opened the door for him and he came out, and then people were rushing after. And he met somebody that was in T-shirt, and he said, I just stood somewhere and was looking. If you could do this to the assistant, I said, don't introduce me at all. What do you have that will make it's difficult for your president to control you? What do you have that will make it difficult for you to listen to your parents? Some people almost have it all, and yet they behave as if they have nothing. So we celebrate you. We celebrate you. Yes, and even the name I'm saying, I'm happy that you are a Yoruba man, sir. You see, Emma Bino, you take in Yoruba. Yoruba. Amen. It came down to our level. Please, that if you don't mind, you might have to drop your contact if it's not against. Please, you might be receiving some messages from some of them because it is very, very important. Please, I want you to stretch forth your hands to Daddy and his team. Stretch forth your hands to him and pray. There shall be no accidental discharge. He will not die before his time. He will not be incriminated. Hired assassins will not overpower him. No evil shall befall him. His wife will not become a widow. His children will not become fatherless. His glory will not become once upon a time. Can we turn that to prayer in the name of Jesus? There is nothing we can give him that can really outsmart what the Lord has used him for in this place. But there is power in your tongue. I want you to pray for him that today will not be his last. That even as he lives here, the power of God will not depart from him. In the name of Jesus. With a resounding amen, I want you to respond. Father, in Jesus' name. Lord, we pray for Commander Olayinka Carlton Joe Fadele. And we decree and declare that it is well with you in the name of Jesus. Daddy, when you go out, it is well with you. When you come in, it is well with you. Lórúkọ Jésù, ọwọ́ yín lẹ máa fi gbẹ̀tọ́ yín. Mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí oúnjẹ tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní jẹ lójú ayé ẹ̀ ní jẹ lójú oorun. Orí yín ò ní gbàbọ̀dé. Ẹ kúnlẹ̀ níwájú Ọlọ́run láwùjọ ènìyàn ẹ máa dìde nàró ni. Ìbànújẹ́ ò ní jẹ́ pé ti yín. Ẹ mọ bí tẹ́ bí àwọn ọmọ yín sí ẹ ní mọ bí tí wọ́n sì wọ́n sí. Ẹ ní fojú sunkún. Lórúkọ Jésù ibi ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí yín. We pray for you today as a family, as a fellowship. The Lord will answer your prayers. It is well with you. In the name of God the Father, and of God the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Your team, none of them shall die. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' mighty name we prayed. With Holy Ghost joy, put those hands together. God bless you, sir.